So you spend all your hard-earned money on a dream bike like this, the Revel Rascal SL. This thing cost around $5,000. And so you'd think at that price, out of the box, this bike has got to be perfect, right? Yeah. But here's the brutal truth. Even a high-end carbon bike like this, after you ride it, you'll quickly realize that there's still some upgrades you have to do if you really want to get this bike dialed in to fit your riding style and to really bring this bike to its full potential. Okay, let's get this bike into the garage. The upgrade process begins. Every upgrade we throw on this bike today has to make it perform better, look better, and preferably do both. By the way, my name is Jared Hoff. I've been reviewing mountain bikes for years. I've upgraded more mountain bikes than I can count. I've wasted a lot of my own hard-earned money. So the purpose of today's video is to hopefully help you avoid making the same mistakes. So here's how it's gonna go down. We got 6 upgrades we're gonna be doing to this bike. The first 2 right here are absolutely essential upgrades. Things I had to do to the mountain bike before even taking it on its very first ride. The last 4, think of those last 4 as more of fine tuning. Things I did to this bike to truly make it fit me, my riding style, and what I want out of a high performance mountain bike like this Revel Rascal. And for each upgrade I throw on the bike, I'll go over what that part is, why I chose it, we'll talk about how much it cost, and I'll be brutally honest about cheaper alternatives you could get. Because on an expensive bike like this, I am definitely throwing those premium level parts to match that look that I want to go for. Oh, and I got one bonus upgrade at the very, very end. I'm going to throw on this bike. It's going to tie the whole thing together, so stay tuned for that. All right, upgrades number 1 and 2. Those essential upgrades I just couldn't wait to put on the bike before its first ride. And that is the pedals and the water bottle cage. Starting with the water bottle cage, I went with the wolf tooth Morse cage in stainless steel. Having the right water bottle cage is essential to keep you hydrated, and you want one that's gonna lock your water bottle in, especially when you're riding on those rougher trails. I've tried cheaper versions in the past and they failed me. I've gotten down to the bottom of a run to realize that my water bottle was missing and I had to hike all the way back up the trail searching for it. You don't wanna do that. There are some cheaper options though, like the Lezyne water bottle cage. I'll throw a link down below. I've found those on Amazon before for around $15, but this stainless steel one is the one I had to choose for this bike to go for that premium look and feel and to match with those pedals and the rest of the parts I'm going to throw on this bike. Next up is a Trail One Sage alloy pedals. Now the reason why I chose these, well, they have a nice wide platform. They got kind of a flat profile to them, but they have higher pins on the outside, so it gives it that concave grip pattern. But these pedals cost $140, which is just absolutely ridiculous, right? So are you getting ripped off? Well, let me tell you what I've learned riding cheap and expensive pedals doing multiple back-to-back runs over the years. I went out recently on a run with that expensive Revel and then took back-to-back laps with this cheap Walmart bike that come with these plastic pedals, no metal pins. They just got these little square knobs. But let's be honest, I made it down the trail okay. My feet never slipped off. So what's the deal? Well, here's the thing that I realized. On a bike like this, on a cheaper bike that's got cheap suspension, you know, cheaper wheels and tires, brakes, just the whole setup, you're really not able to ride that fast down those super technical trails. This bike naturally slows you down, makes it a little bit sketchier to ride, and you find yourself riding just a lot slower. Oh, shoot. Oh. Now you jump on something like that Revel Rascal right there, and you were bombing down the trails at high rates of speed, riding so much faster. And that's when having those pedals right there with that massive amount of grip right there, that wide platform, those metal pins, that's when it really makes a huge difference. But let's be brutally honest. They have composite pedals, like even Trail One sells a Vortex pedal that still has a wide platform, still has metal pins, and probably offers you like just as much, if not close to just as much grip as a pedal like this. But that's when it comes back to the type of bike that you're upgrading, right? And for me, I'm upgrading a top, high-end level, super light carbon Revel Rascal bike. And what I want out of it is that super high-end premium look. So for me, the alloy pedals, $140, it's worth it. And this is kind of like a buy once, cry once thing because those pedals are gonna last a lifetime. Trail One offers free replacement parts for this. So they do like an annual reservice of your pedal. So yeah, I'm spending a little bit of money, but for me, it's worth every penny, and I think it's gonna look badass on this bike when it's complete, and I got all the other stainless steel parts thrown on here, or the other raw metal parts. All right, so now we got upgrades number 1 and 2 on there, the pedals and the water bottle cage. Now it's time to move on to a little bit of more of these fine-tuning refinements. Let's move right into upgrade number 3, which is the grips. Now, the grips that came on this bike, they're actually from Trail One, the brand that I like, the type of grips that I like, almost. But these are the thin version. These are the Trail One Farlow Gap. Gosh, words are difficult. Farlow Gap. It's a trail in North Carolina. All of Trail One's parts, they're named after trails, and $1 from each sale goes back to that trail. So, you know, definitely look for those links down there in the video description and in the pinned comments, and I got discount codes as well for you guys. But anyways, the Farlow Gap grips. This is their thinner grip, so it's got a much thinner diameter. It's got less padding. And the grips I'm choosing to replace those with are the Trail One Hellsgate grips. They're pretty similar, you know, like if you look at the grips side by side, they have almost the same exact pattern as them, just they're a little bit thicker in diameter. They got that extra ribbing on the inside. It's a little bit softer of a compound, like a little bit thicker around. And grips is one of the things that I've really just gotten picky with over the years. And they only cost about $27. So as far as there being cheaper alternatives, I wouldn't go any cheaper. Like I wouldn't find a knockoff pair of $10 grips. Spend the $27, get a high quality set of grips, whether it's from, you know, Trail One or P&W or any other brand out there. And a cheaper way to get it is you could use the discount code I have in the video description down there. That'll help you save just a little bit of cash. But for right now, the Farlow Gap grips are coming off the bike. And there's no more grips going on because right now we got a couple more things to do to this cockpit setup to get it dialed in, looking and performing just the way I want. Okay, so that was the grips, definitely an important one, but now we're gonna get into something that it's taken me quite a while and quite a few years of riding to really figure out what I like when it comes to this next upgrade. And we're talking about the bars. And for me, the bars that I chose are these Trail One Crockett carbon handlebars. They've got a 35-degree rise, a 5-degree up sweep, 8-degree back sweep. I have them cut down to, 770, which I used to ride my bars like really wide because I'm 6'2", and I guess somebody told me you should keep 800 mil bars. But then I realized like, I don't have long, lanky arms even at my height. So I kept cutting my bars down shorter and shorter and shorter, and I kind of rested on 770 for my width. But with that height, that width, that rise, that back sweep, I've really gotten used to the way that feels. So when I took this Revel Rascal out on its very first ride, being that, you know, the bars didn't feel too wide. I think these are like 780 or something like that it comes stock with, but these only have a 20-degree rise, so not quite as much, you know, stand up as I'm riding, and then not quite the same amount of back sweep. I don't know, something just felt off, and you get used to that setup and you get used to that handlebar, and it really makes a difference throughout your entire ride. When you're feeling the bike on the trails, when you're controlling the bike, when you're handling it over those longer descents, just the way your arms are angled, it starts to just kind of tire you out. So this is the exact type of bar that I like to ride on every single trail and enduro bike that I have. But this is a carbon handlebar, which means it costs about $125. Which is ridiculous, considering you could get the aluminum version, the same exact aluminum version of this Trail One Crockett bar for about $55. But there's a couple reasons why I chose carbon bars for this build right here. First of all, the carbon does provide a little bit more vibration dampening. And when you have really high-end suspension, I've even found that it makes it, I don't know, just allows you to really push into that suspension and makes it feels like the suspension's performing a little bit better as well. But to be honest, also this is just like a high-end build that I'm doing, so I had to throw the high-end bars on there. But did I overpay? Maybe. And the smarter choice definitely would have been going with the aluminum bars. But actually, I just realized I don't even need to take the bars out of this stem, because this stem is the very next thing that we're about to be upgrading in upgrade number 5. So which stem did I choose? Why did I choose it? How much did it cost? And what are the cheaper options I could have gotten for this bike right here? Let's get into it. So the stem that I chose, probably no surprise to you, is this Trail 1 Rockville stem in that raw metal. Look at how badass that is gonna look with those other parts on there. But let's be honest, let's talk about the price real quick. This stem cost $135, which is absolutely ridiculous to spend on something that's really not gonna change how much your bike performs that much. The stock stem that came on here, it was fine. It's a 50mm length, and this one's a 40mm length. So it's gonna change the way the bike handles just a little bit. But the main reason why I'm ditching the stock race face turbine stem that came on this bike and upgrading it to this Trail 1 Rockville stem is for the looks. And to me, the stem, it's like the face of the bike, right? And when you're upgrading, a high-end bike like this Revel Rascal, it's kind of like getting a fancy grill on your sports car. You're gonna want that badass, fancy looking grill to go on your badass, fancy looking sports car, or in this case, your mountain bike. But there's definitely cheaper options out there. Like you can see even on the Trail 1 website, they have this Viking stem that you can get on sale right now for $39. So like almost $100 cheaper than that Rockville stem right there. Look at how good that is looking. That stem, the pedals. You see how that just brings it all together? See how like the facelift that just gave this bike? Let's get these bars back through there. Now the Trail 1 bars, one of the things I like about this bar stem combo is it has the markings on there so you can get it centered up just right. And these carbon bars already have this textured tape on there, so you don't have to worry about using carbon paste on this portion of this setup. That zero gap up top, then torque it down. Woo, that's looking good. So good. I'm stoked at how this build is coming together. Okay, so we got the pedals, we got the bottle cage, we got the grips, the bars, the stem. Now there's just that one final upgrade right there, upgrade number 6, and that bonus upgrade right there. So keep watching, but right now it's time for upgrade number 6, which is definitely the most expensive upgrade, but I would say the upgrade that's gonna transform the way this bike looks the most out of anything we've thrown on here today, and that is the wheels. Old wheels are off, and the wheels I'm replacing them with is the new shed wheel set from Trail 1. Now these wheels offer all of the durability and control you could want out of an aluminum wheel set. They got a 30mm internal rim width, nice wide rim lip, high quality rim tape on there. They already come set up with that tubeless Trail 1 valve sim. They have the DT Swiss hubs on there, which were actually the same ones that were on the Revel Rascal. But if I have to be honest, I chose these mostly for the looks. With those chrome spokes right there, the way it's gonna look on this bike, and just having that Trail 1 logo on there representing a brand that I really love. And just like throwing a new set of wheels on that fancy sports car completely transforms the way it looks, these wheels on that Revel Rascal right there are gonna tie this whole bike together.
taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6-spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6-spot.
Woo! That is looking so badass. We're gonna get this bike outside. We're gonna take a closer look at how it is all finished up out in the sunlight. That's how you really need to take a look at it. But now it's time to get onto that bonus upgrade. That one little piece that somehow ties the whole bike together. All right, we got the bike all prepped. Now it's time to take out this final part. What is it? This raw metal Trail 1 seat post clamp right here. Cheap little part, tiny little upgrade, but I'm telling you, it's gonna tie this whole bike together. So let's get this installed, then we'll get this bike outside, take a little bit closer look. All right, there you go, guys. Got all the upgrades on there. I forgot to mention those Trail 1 wheels. Those are about $899. That seat post clamp, another $25. Were those upgrades necessary? Absolutely not. The cheaper option would have just been to keep the stock stuff on there, which worked just fine. But man, check out how good this bike looks right now. Those chrome spokes up front, moving right up to those Hellsgate grips, carbon bars, that Rockville stem, moving around down to those Trail 1 pedals, that wolf tooth bottle cage, all those accents just matching up. And then that seat post clamp, just kind of like the cherry on top. Even moving to the back, you can see how those chrome spokes right there just match with that cassette and that SRAM 90 derailleur right there. The whole bike is just dialed in. But that's just the beginning. That's just looking at this bike and saying it looks good. The real question is, how good does this bike perform? If you guys haven't seen the before riding clip where I took this bike out and compared it to a $500 and a $1,500 bike, watch that video right here and subscribe so you don't miss that next video when I take this Revel Rascal fully upgraded back out to those shed trails with these new shed wheels and take this thing smashing down those black diamond trails to see if these upgrades were actually worth it, or if I just wasted my money making this amazing bike look a little bit better.